Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of The Joy of Puzzles. Today I have for you a puzzle called Movie Madness, published in 1996 by the Great American Puzzle Factory. The Great American Puzzle Factory was founded in Connecticut in 1979, and at some point they were purchased by a company called Fundex Games. Well, Fundex Games filed for bankruptcy in 2012, making my ability to search for the facts and details about these companies pretty tough. As a matter of fact, when I went to the Great American Puzzle Factory website, it actually is no longer their website. It is owned by some organization in Asia based on the characters that were there, and it might even have been some sort of slot machine. Tough to tell. So obviously all their intellectual property online is gone, expired, no longer available, though this puzzle is readily available on eBay and Amazon. Well, then I went looking for the artist, Mr. Gil Eisner. And this was confusing as well. I found a Gil Eisner who was a Olympic gold medalist in fencing for the USA, and it lists on his Wikipedia page that he is also a graphic artist. Maybe that's the guy, maybe it's not. When I also type in Gil Eisner, I found Will Eisner, who actually is a cartoonist, and did a lot of work for the US government before getting away from doing drawings himself and moving on to the front end of the business, and also is credited with the first person to develop the graphic novel as we know it today. For all I know, there's other Gil Eisners out there that are neither of those guys and have nothing to do with what I found, but the last name is pretty common, so that made it tough. Brought up lots of Eisners, lots of famous people with that name. So kind of struck out. I'd love to give credit where credit is due. So I will say Gil Eisner, and if you're able to track him down, well, kudos. I ran out of patience, I guess, after an hour or two of reading history on lots of people that were in the industry, but tough to tell if they were the actual guy who did this puzzle, because I couldn't find any examples of their artwork that looked like this. Alright, so this puzzle is called Movie Madness, and the cover states it is the puzzle within the puzzle. The challenge here is to look at the images that are revealed, and you can see them in the upper left hand corner, and see if you can guess all 64 movie titles that are contained in here. I'll tell you, a lot of these are before my time, so no, and I'm not a young man, so yeah, couldn't guess. There were even characters I thought I recognized, and nope, I was wrong about the actors in those movies as well. It is a long list. There are some modern films in here, relatively modern. E.T., I guess that's not that modern, depends on your age. And Moonstruck is not that old if you are a Cher fan, maybe. But there's a lot of really old films on here, including some of the main ones that date back to the 40s, which I have never seen and arguably never heard of. But most of the titles I've heard of, just couldn't tell you who was in them or how old they were. Yeah, interesting puzzle. Like I said, the artwork is attractive. If you're a movie buff, things like this are interesting. This kind of puzzle, though, I find is pretty darn easy, because if 80% of the pieces, when you pull them out of the box, you can look at the cover and know exactly where it goes, yeah, there's not a whole lot of challenge there. So when I talk strategy, I have to talk about that a little loosely here. Of course, the border first, and then the sky, because there's so little of it. There's very little blue in this puzzle. There's a lot of green. And then, well, the sky and the clock, because they go together. And then my plan was to build the gentleman wearing the tuxedo on the right, who is supposed to be William Powell. Had to look that up from a movie called The Thin Man. Nope, I had heard of it, but I've definitely never seen it. It was from the 40s. And then after that, I was gonna build the large character in the center of the puzzle, the woman who I thought was Marilyn Monroe. Nope, completely wrong. It's Jonah Drew from the movie She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, which she starred in with John Wayne. That one I've probably seen, but probably once and a really, really long time ago. About halfway through the build, my son got home from work and joined me, and at that point your strategy kind of goes out the window because you both focus on different things, and you'll go, hey, have you seen this? And they'll be like, oh yeah, I've been building that over here, and you drop in a couple pieces. You also tend to be focused on one side of the puzzle, not both. You don't want to arm wrestle your way through the build, and you also have only one box of pieces in front of you, so about half the pieces to choose from. So strategy, well, yeah, it varied. This puzzle is 550 pieces, and it took just under 2.5 hours to build. So, review time, ratings. Where do we stand with this one? Well, it is kind of a fun puzzle, but on a technical side, I'm not going to rate it very well. The puzzle material quality was not great. I'm going to give it a 2, below average. There were pieces where the little tabs had either broken away or the underlying support material had broken away, so the puzzle material and the graphic on the top were not bonded properly. So that's kind of disappointing when you're putting a puzzle together, and if you stick around for the end where I take this thing apart, good grief, it does not want to come apart. And that's because of two things. One is the puzzle material itself, and then the second thing, which is our next category, is the puzzle cut quality. This is also getting a 2 here. Yeah, just not good. And it's so evident when I take the puzzle apart. It's one of the longest disassemblies, which is really strange. The thing just does not want to separate. The pieces are pliable almost in how they fit together. If you were gonna seal this puzzle, that's a great thing. You don't have to worry about it coming apart, but not my intent. Difficulty. Gonna give it a 2. 550 pieces. Again, 80% of the pieces, when you pull them out of the box, you can tell exactly where they go, so that really diminishes the challenge of it. But at the same time, the puzzle is nice. So for my fourth category, the most subjective, I'm gonna frameability. For me, it's a 4, because this actually is the type of poster that if you had your own little movie studio, say, in your house, you would want something like this hanging there. It's kind of nice and has an interesting story behind it. So yeah, frameability is actually a 4, because I am a movie buff, I have some bias, but overall I have to give it a 2. But it's one of the only 2s I'll probably ever build again and again, because it's so quick, it's fun, it's easy. I just wish the quality of it was better, and that's just bad luck in this case. So as we come here to the end, I'm going to ask, if you like the puzzle, you like the video, you like the story that goes with it, go ahead and click the like button, and you can watch me disassemble this thing and struggle trying to get these pieces together. Apart, because they are just fused together. Very strange. Appreciate everyone for watching, and I will see you again with another puzzle probably later this week. Thank you. Bye.